No. Now it's time to start. Look at the ceiling. Oh my God. We're still going to wait a few minutes for Dan to maybe show up. We're punctual.
Knowing our luck, he's going to call him.
For very large values.
What?
For very large values of punctual.
Yes. And for people to call in as well. Here, we'll just watch. We'll just watch Blackheart work for a few minutes. Here we see the maker in its native environment.
When are we going to see a date?
Yeah.
I think you have to get to that and to narrate that before it's allowed on television.
Here we see the maker in their native environment. Fascinating.
Awesome solo. Yeah, just like.
This is it. This is the meeting.
Me struggling with screws.
Yep. You can lead the meeting from there, right?
Yeah, there's a number.
People that will be added to the agenda.
These screws have pulled through. This is problematic. What happens to I haven't actually swapped out the beds and everything in months. So they've been pretty solid for a while.
Yeah, the formatting is just going to go wonky. We have, I think, 3 more to add.
Well, it shouldn't get wonky. I just fixed the spacing and I gave it body armor.
Yeah, I gave it a little more space.
But
But,
there's a better way to do that.
okay, we'll deal with that later.
Okay?
I do it the dumb hard way because I don't work in Word. I work in Excel.
This would be easier if it was Word. Word has much more powerful style sheets. And that's one of my biggest complaints about Google Docs by comparison.
Here's some data not that big, so please just track of the screws.
That'd be mean. It's much easier to just come up and take one. Give it 2 more minutes.
Have you named your board yet?
Exodus.
Oh, there's Dan.
The pint is Apollo, and when the GT arrives, it will be Leviathan.
You named it before you even met it?
Dan, how far away are you?
Yeah, because it's going to be the big boy. Assuming it arrives not DOA, which fingers crossed.
I was saying I'm remote far away. I'm going to be online for the meeting.
Okay. We can start. Not put it at booth height. Are you ready for us to start, Blackheart? Are you just gonna keep working through the meeting?
Yeah.
Not lend focus?
Yeah.
I mean, the laptop may change its mind anyway.
It's
You have a cord
much
that's
slack.
yanked
Yeah.
around.
back here.
But
There's another laptop on the other side of the room that's also being yanked.
That one's not as important.
No.
that one doesn't have a camera, or it does, but not on.
just gonna chalk it up to my magnetic personality.
Eventually, I'll just get a webcam on a tripod. Get myself back to the top. Hello, and welcome to the June edition of the member meeting for FamiLAB. We are live streaming on the internet and recording, so if that is not something that you want to be a part of, we will miss you, but goodbye. You're behind the camera. The camera can't see you. Please, our remote folks, bye Mike. Our remote folks, please mute your microphone while others are speaking, or, just cough loudly to get our attention. We're going to start with Dan with the financials. Hello, Dan.
Hello. Well, the short story is on the financials. Things are still holding pretty steady. We have a good amount that's in the bank. The membership has also been holding steady. We've gained one, lost one last month. Definitely, there's been it feels like, at least being out at the lab, that there's been a big uptick in the interest in membership. So that's a good thing. Just hopefully we can convert some of those interested people and prospective members into actual members would be good. I apologize, I didn't get a chance to total up what's in the donation box, but I did see there was some money hanging out in there. I'll be out at the lab later this week, and I'll make sure that gets put in the appropriate places or place in the account.
$20.
$20. Okay, so thank you, whoever random person put money in there, or random people or whatever. So yeah, that's about it on the financial side. Do you want me just to keep going here since the next couple things, or next?
Yeah,
thing?
keep going with the router and the AC because that's you.
Yeah. Well, the router, almost all the mechanical assembly part of it is done. I'm going to be out this week, and we'll finish off that. If anyone has any interest in helping out with the electrical / software side of it, that would be very welcome. So just contact me, let me know. But like I say, all the mechanical side of it should be handled this week. With the AC, as Lily said, this is on me, but I need some help here with this too. Basically, the guy that we were dealing with, I can't get a hold of anymore. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I know at one point there had been talk about, I don't know whether or not we figured out if this was possible or not, about moving the fan, basically the air handler, from the one machine in the lab to the.
It is not, we were told. They're different.
Okay.
I did
Oh.
drop in the channel for you, Dan, the guy that Nick and Katie used to install their AC at their shop. I can post that again for you if you get his name.
If you don't mind, yeah, my life's been kind of pretty hectic lately, and so I missed that. Sorry.
No problem.
I'd like to take over the AC.
Okay.
What's that?
He's been working on my house for years.
Roger volunteered.
Oh, Roger, if you don't mind helping out with that, I would really appreciate it.
I will take over the AC with my friend.
Thank you, sir.
He has a guy.
That's good.
Electrical.
And now, vicariously, I have a guy too.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Roger, for stepping up and getting that handled. Apologies to everyone who has had to be in the FamiLAB the last month and a half, 2 months. We didn't expect the AC to die, and we didn't expect parts to be so scarce from one guy that we have used for years who ghosted us.
Apparently everybody's AC's been dying though.
So for those that don't know, FamiLAB is on the same, well, it's the same electrical grid as every other industrial place around here. And there was a lightning storm a couple months ago, and a lot of them had their ACs die the exact same way. I know this particularly because I get the notifications from Duke Energy when the power goes out, and they say 500 other units have been affected. Yeah, it's been happening a lot lately. Something about the weather.
It's almost as if we're moving into summer storm season.
Don't jinx it.
I hope it cools down. This isn't on the agenda, but that's a good segue to hurricane season is upon us. In the event of a hurricane directly hitting Orlando area, we will be closed because this is not a rated storm shelter building. Basically, if government buildings are closed, we will most likely be closed. We will post updates in Slack. In the event that a direct hit is scheduled, we come in here, we unplug everything electrical, we turn the door off, and we ride out the storm in safety, not in an industrial building that was built in whenever this building was built.
And then a day or two later, when everything's cleaned up and safe, we'll switch everything back on.
Yeah, it's only happened 3 times in the last 10 years. I think the last one was Irma.
Every few years, there's a storm that warrants it.
Yeah.
One of the other things with the storm is that if there's a storm coming, there's oftentimes some prep work that we need to do around the lab to get prepared for a storm. And if you're not busy prepping your house, coming to help prep with prior, checking in with everyone can be very helpful, because a lot of times we'll have to, move stuff away from doors and windows and make sure things are unplugged and turned off and all that kind of, normal stuff. And if it's especially bad, taking pictures of things.
Yes. We'll post in Slack should the need arise. Hopefully it does not, knock on wood. Orlando has been lucky the last 15 years since the last 4 went through.
And if you're just a storm junkie in general, Hurricane Chan is back.
Yep, we have a Slack channel called Hurricane for all things hurricane and tropical updates. I have it muted. I hope other people let me know if something bad happens. I work for a company that actually cares for my safety now, so I generally will have.
Feeling, isn't it?
I know, I'll be able to not have to go to work in a hurricane. Moving on from that, we're still trying to get folks in here. We love you guys. We want to see you more. We want to see folks making things. If you have an idea for an event, workshop, meetup, class, whatever you want to call it, post in events and classes, events_and_classes, something like that is how it's formatted. And we would love to see them on the calendar. And if we can help, we would like to. So if you have an idea, post it in Slack, talk to folks about it, and let's get it done. On the topic of Slack, we are finalizing our Slack cleanup stuff. Do you want to talk about it, Brian?
Sure. We are working on cleaning up the Slack because there's somewhere about more than 170 channels. You may have heard earlier, we have 114 members. That's more than 1 channel per member, and it's probably a little bit overkill. And of course, it's a bit overwhelming for the new users to find something to talk about or where they should be talking. So we want to get that down to a more manageable number. So we came up with some criteria, and thank you for everyone who who joined us at the last board meeting and gave their input for this. We're looking at archiving channels with fewer than 10 members or with no messages in the past 6 months. And of course, channels created for specific events like holiday party, they may get closed once the event is over. But based on that criteria of the fewer than 10 members and or no messages in the past 6 months, that covers over 75 channels. So most of them will be archived if there's been any discussion in them. If it was just created, 4 people invited, and then a line saying, hey, we can talk about thing here, and nothing ever happened beyond that, the channel might be deleted instead. But if there's any non-negligible content in it, it'll be archived. If you ever want a channel back, please post in Lab Ops and Management, and we can always unarchive it for you.
Yeah, we're only archiving them, so they're not going away for good.
Yep.
And our goal, this way.
I have a question on the archive.
Yes.
Is it possible to take a channel that's already on there and make it private?
Yes, you
If they wanna
can.
do that?
You can take a public channel and make it private.
So if they wanted to, they could take it private and it would be. archived.
Yeah, and
The
we can't-
owner can or an admin can, not an random individual.
Slack. Like
Got
we can set a channel to private, and we can't see private channels, so we don't govern anything with private channels.
And that 170 channels was exclusively public channels. So
Yeah.
we're-
Keep in mind though, if you convert a channel to private, any links to it are also broken. Any shares are also broken. So if you share content from one channel to another, that content disappears in the other channels.
Yes,
I also think that once you convert it to private, you can't convert it back.
correct. And our goal here is to just make it more accessible to new folks, to, because we are a community, but if new members to our community cannot find the parts of the community to chat with and interact with, it kind of creates a bad loop.
Yes, and we are going to review this a few times a year and continue to keep the Slack maintained so that it doesn't grow as many empty channels as it has.
It's all sounding like this place is clickier than I thought it would be. I just need to know where the pool table's gonna be.
Pool tables wherever.
Right now, it's
it
that one
goes,
right
yeah.
there.
We're kind of the group of folks that wasn't allowed at the pool table in high school, at least. Yeah, so we kind of.
It's just spinning in there.
I'm just being silly.
It does sometimes get clicky, and we try to remind everyone to be awesome to one another. That's our golden rule, our golden guideline. And for the most part, I'm not going to say everybody, but for the most part, people are awesome to each other and are very inclusive and communicative.
Every table's the cool table.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
everybody wants to make something, very few people want to clean up, as you can tell walking around the lab.
I will find a vacuum cleaner later.
And the same thing goes for the Slack. Lots of people create things, but nobody really goes by and cleans it up at all. So
And sometimes there's momentarily enough interest to spawn another channel, and there's conversation that happens for like 6 months, like after a game comes out, or like during the airing of a particular show. But Slack has introduced things like threads and other things so that it gives a little more control over that. So it's not everything in the same channel, so everyone gets spoilers.
yes, and perhaps someday we can even think about maybe revising some of the more esoteric channel names into something a little more discoverable.
But for now, we're just trying to make it more accessible to new members.
And old members who don't know where to ask their questions. Because once you've got more people in a room and one person asks a question, more people will start answering if they're around.
IRC.net.
And there's a number of overlapping channels. Like I think there's a Nintendo and an Atari, and we've got the main gaming channel, and there's like a Twitch streaming, and but nobody's talking any of them but gaming.
Right.
So like,
So the others will just be encouraged to come back to gaming, and with everyone there, we can fork a thread if we need, and keep it pinned for easy reference.
But at the risk of talking about the one topic all night, as we are wont to do sometimes, we do care about your opinion. We do care what the membership has to say. If you do have any questions, concerns, comments about this or anything, please feel free to reach out to us. We, the board, we're trying to serve the membership and grow the membership. So please, if you want to call me a bastard, go for it. Mike?
This is something people asked us to do because obviously we don't want to spend the time going through 170 channels if we didn't have to.
Yes. On that note.
And I will throw the list of the exact channels up right before they start to go away.
Yeah, and we'll post in the channels. Moving on is the open discussion part of the meeting. Anything you would like to talk about, bring up, show and tell. Start.
I have a stuck screw. It's a problem.
Start with Chuckle McGee over here.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I swear this never happens.
What, are you getting on camera?
Tire, which will go on this eventually. Once I can get this screw. Well, that's gone. I have a stuck screw.
So for those that don't know, what is this that you're working on?
This is a one-wheel XR. I have many one wheels. I am slightly addicted. I have ridden about 1,000 miles between my boards in the last 6 months. And this is my favorite because it has the range and the power and a stuck screw. Basically, when people call the little Chinese things hoverboards, no. This feels like the Back to the Future hoverboards. These are good.
So you're saying it's a self-balancing one-wheel scooter? Skateboard, whatever.
Yeah. It feels like snowboarding.
But it's one wheel and it self-balances.
Yes. And doesn't unscrew. This is getting.
Try pushing on it from the other.
Okay, I will. I'll say something while
No.
Blackheart is working on his single wheel.
Yes.
So it is not 100% yet, but very soon, FamiLAB will have powder coating capabilities. I've got 2 ovens set up, and we've got 2 guns that were donated by my former employer. Everything should be working, but we need to do some testing on it and stuff like that. But if you want to look at it, it's out near the bay door on the right-hand side in the pallet racking. I can't show you because I'm not there, but I'm sure Billy can show you where it'll be. We're just kind of starting out with that kind of stuff. There are many colors and textures available, and you can essentially powder coat anything conductive that can withstand 400 degrees in an oven for 20 minutes. It's really cool, and I hope a lot of people use it, and it's actually way cheaper than spray paint if you have to paint a lot of metal parts. Because a pound of powder is anywhere from $8 to $17, depending on what you're doing with the coatings, and there's lots of cool different options available. So something I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to learning and showing you guys how to use it as I learn it. I know Aaron does it professionally, but this is a much smaller setup than he's usually using. I think the big oven's what, like 18 inches cubed, give or take? And then the small oven's about 10 inches cubed.
Sounds about right.
So that should be a lot of fun. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We don't have a separate channel for that. We've just been talking about it in metalworking.
Cool. Thank you, Mike, for getting that started and set up. And post about it in the channel and post results.
Also, don't leave the oven on when you leave the lab.
Yeah, it's enclosed and temperature controlled, but it's also a lot of power, I imagine, and B, don't leave hot things unattended.
Don't leave running things unattended.
Is your refrigerator running?
Does anybody else have any show and tell? Bueller. No, fantastic. It's rotating again. Help it again.
Do we have some zip lines?
I'll just bring it up to the camera. Upcoming events. The Arduino and microcontroller meetup will be this Saturday, June 25th at 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m.-ish, barring any horrible storms like last week. So if you are interested in microcontrollers, Arduino, chatting about it, working on it, come on by, hang out. The next open house will be the second Tuesday of July, which is the 12th at 8 p.m. The next board meeting will be the second Thursday of the month, which is July 14th at 8 p.m. And the next member meeting will be the third Tuesday of July, July 19th at 8 p.m. I'm noticing a pattern. And again, if you want to put on any workshops, meetups, classes, social hangouts, LAN parties, let us know. And we are happy to facilitate. We can get it up on the calendar so that we can start promoting it. You are making a lot of noise.
Is it the head or the threads that are strapped?
The bottom thread is upper mushroom.
Could you like maybe pause for 20 minutes?
We're sorry for interrupting your project.
Feeling of stopping the project happening.
We are going, yeah, I can help you get that out after the meeting. Also use an impactor. Now we are going to have our new members introduce themselves. Prince Bates.
Present.
That is you.
That is me.
Thank God, I thought that was a fake name when it came through.
Do I have to be on camera?
Do you want to be on camera? Are you okay? I can just turn it this way so you can be comfortable. If you're okay with it.
Good evening. I am Prince Bates. I look forward to meeting all y'all, learning a lot of new things like you. I have way too many hobbies and not enough time for them. But hopefully, you know, I get to be part of a community that likes to also make things and break things. So thank you for allowing me to take up your space.
Questions for Mr. Prince?
What sort of things do you make and break?
I generally break anything electronic, but I tend to fix things with my 3D printer or anything wood I'm really good at. I also used to be really good at cars, but now I'm just too lazy, old rather, to crawl underneath one. So
Fair.
yeah. Anything else?
What part of FamiLAB are you hoping to work in the most, starting out at least?
Starting out, probably the power tools for the woodworking side. But you know, I've always wanted to try my hand in metalworking and blacksmithing since I was a kid. So
Awesome.
pretty much any corner of this place I've had some sort of interest in, and trying to limit myself to one and building out, it's going to be very hard.
Start with one, and then in that one, you find an application for another, and it just spiderwebs.
But you've left me so much shelf space to start a project and stop and leave it somewhere for you guys to trip on. So that's nice.
Fair. We'll put it
That's
up
what
high.
the boxes are for. Use them.
We also have a myriad of palette space, if you don't mind putting it up high.
Okay.
Awesome. Any further questions?
What's your favorite fandom?
At the moment, there's just so much of it. I'm not as big as Star Wars anymore, but I've realized as I get older, I'm more into the lore of a lot of things. Except, you know, when it's like Star Wars and DC, where they just take everything you know and make it non-canon.
And to be fair, a lot of the Star Wars Legends stuff was really bad.
No, a lot of it's still kind of bad.
Some of it was good, a lot of it was bad.
They're slowly taking the good stuff and making it canon again.
But I guess the
Exactly.
thing that I'm really into right now is, I guess, D&D. So,
Okay.
of course, my family into it, loving it.
I want to bring back Tabletop Game Day at some point, but time or lack thereof.
For our commitment.
Next, Robert Heller. I believe he's virtual. Robert Heller. Rob Hell. I see you in the meet.
You are muted, by the way.
You are muted. No camera. Hello. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you're about. What would you like to do? What would you like to make?
What would I like to do? Well, I love 3D printing or just making anything in general. Like, for for example, actually right now I was actually working on this. It's I don't know if you've seen it on Thingiverse, but it's like a 3D printed hydroponic garden. You know, but yeah, I have like 11 3D printers already by myself. FEM, resin, all that kind of stuff. So I know 3D printing design and all that stuff. You know, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. How'd you hear about us?
Just a Google search, you know, just looking for like-minded people. Not many. It's hard to find people who like that kind of things, you know.
That's fair. Does anybody have questions for Mr. Rob?
So what would you like to learn from us, and what can we learn from you?
Just things to make my projects, like, for example, this hydroponic garden thing. I want, you know, maybe a timing system that maybe would be better, and I'm sure there's someone there that knows more about the electronic system of that. Or, you know, maybe not, but at least it's good to meet people. So
There could be someone that's 5 minutes ahead of you, and you could both learn together.
exactly.
I feel like the microcontroller workshop this weekend might be helpful if you want to learn where to begin.
Yes, it would be. It would be. Yeah. So,
It's at 3 p.m.
On which day?
On Saturday, it's at 3 p.m.
Saturday.
Any other questions for Mr. Rob?
hey, I'm definitely a 3D printer guy, as you can probably understand.
That's fair. We have basic 3D printers here. We don't have anything super advanced.
We have workhorse printers.
Yeah.
We're intended to be workhorse. Some of them need a bit more love and care than they should.
That's always fun fixing it. So.
Yeah, it's like a CNC, but worse. Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Moving on, John Douglas.
Right here.
Right there.
Yeah. My name's John. How to put it? I'm trying to think. I've been trying to think. What is the first thing that my parents yelled at me for breaking? And I can't remember it because there's been so much of it that continues to be breaking things my whole life.
So what was the thing that they were relieved that you fixed?
The first time I fixed something was the garage door. I put up a new garage door opener when I was 12 or 13, and I did it by myself. And my mom still is surprised that I was able to do that at the age that I did it. But even before then, I wanted to be an inventor, and I didn't know, you know, the things that I did for fun that other kids just thought were weird. I didn't realize that there was a future in that until I was finally in college. And it was like, maybe I want to do this. And I realized when I first started going to college that I wanted to be an engineer. As far as what do they call it? The current fandom I'm in right now is cars, because my car keeps breaking.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Cars, the hit movie from Pixar.
He did what, Miss Cup? Yeah, that's what's going on for me.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. John?
It's a 96 Civic.
Good era for the Civic.
What type of engineering?
Electronics, but I might go into physics instead. It depends on, like, I'm still recovering from a knee injury, and I won't know which one I should really focus on until I get back into the habit of studying and all that other stuff to see what would be best for me. I've actually categorized it: physics, electronics engineer, mechanic. At the bottom of the level, I can't do any of that TaskRabbit.
I put civil way down there.
I feel personally attacked.
Oh, I'm sorry. But it's okay. Here's the drainage plan for this property. Boring. Very useful and very needed in society, but boring. This is how you need to make your dirt so the road doesn't flood.
Water flows downhill.
Civil engineering is.
Yes, but civil engineering is how does the water flow downhill? How can we most effectively get it out of the road?
That's ridiculous.
I watch a lot of practical engineering.
That's why
So, I mean, civil engineering, if it's
Worst case
exciting, it's probably
capacity
spelling.
planning.
So. Well, once again, I go with that.
So would you say civil engineers prefer stability?
Well, the joke, and now you often use this, is the joke is, mechanical engineers make the weapons, civil engineers make the targets.
I heard it was aerospace and civil.
So
I like
sad and fresh.
Well, aerospace, you carry the weapons.
I'm a hobby machinist. I make the weapons, I guess. Sorry to sidetrack from your introduction. Does anybody else have any questions for John? All right.
Remember, you're getting participation grades for this.
Which corner of the FamiLAB are you hoping to spend a lot of time in?
The first project I want to get done is to do some 3D printing, and a little after that, there's a few ideas I've had for car parts, and I would love to use the milling machine to make car parts. But those might be pipe dreams. I don't know yet. I won't know until I get a chance to work on the sort of the theoretical side more than the practical side.
Fair. Elaine Tierney. You didn't pipe up, so I'm going to guess it's not you.
Hello.
Hello. Oh.
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name's Elaine. I also go by Elle. I use she, her pronouns. I am a little bit nervous because unlike all of you fine STEM-brained individuals, I am coming from a humanities and philosophy background. So I unfortunately at the moment do not have a lot to contribute in terms of like what skills do I have to offer. So I'm a little nervous because it's like, oh, I don't want to be a leech or a parasite. I do want to learn and I do want to help. I have an interest in sort of the fundamentals of computation. So I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time in the electronics workshop that I saw when I was there. I also have an interest in film photography, so going to the darkroom is also something I'm very excited to do. Yeah, that's basically it.
Can I just say, curiosity is a great weapon. We all started as curious individuals, and through that curiosity, it pushed us to learn. Or some philosophical BS.
I started in visual effects, and I wouldn't be the idiot I am today without it.
You all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome.
Awesome. Questions for Elle? Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle and why is it Leonardo?
I was going to ask you a question. I just couldn't find my mute button.
Oh, hello.
I was going to ask, what format film do you shoot?
So I have a 35 millimeter camera and I also have a 120 camera. I haven't shot large format, though it is something it's like, oh, I want to do it, but it's also expensive. My girlfriend has a Polaroid that I like messing around with, so instant film as well. Yeah, 35, predominantly black and white right now, and 120. Since
Very cool. You should make sure to join the darkroom channel on Slack too.
Already in there.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that that you're that there's no way that you don't have something that you can teach somebody else or many other people here at FamiLAB. You know, everybody's got something that they can share and something that they can you know, bring to other people. So please don't feel intimidated or anything like that. I mean, you know, everybody out here is a great community. Everybody really just loves learning everything they can from everybody else. So Don't let don't let any sort of like fear or anything like that stop you from being part of the community.
Thank you for the reassuring words, Daniel. Yeah, if anyone needs some literature analyzed or Aristotelian metaphysics explained, or the current work in philosophy of computation explained, just let me know. I can do that at least. And sorry for my voice as well. It's not normally this Batman gravelly. I just have bronchitis, which is why I'm not there in person.
Where's the Joker?
I can take a deep cut question. Who's your favorite crystal gem, and why is it all of them? That's okay.
I must confess, I have not actually watched Steven Universe. However, I do like some of Garnet's songs because I think her voice actor has an amazing voice. So I have to say her. Also, just the idea of like fusing together with your loved one. There's some really cool sci-fi that involves that concept as well.
Redeemed. Any further questions for Miss L?
Do you promise not to drink the darkroom chemicals if we let you in?
Please don't drink the darkroom chemicals if we let you in.
I will not personally be drinking the darkroom chemicals.
Okay. Don't mix up and like bring a beer into the darkroom and then accidentally drink developer.
Ah, yes, they smell very similar.
I can tell you what tap fluid tastes like, and it's not whiskey. Cutting oil tastes really sweet.
I'm just reminded of holiday parties past.
Anyways, we digress. Thank you, Elle. We look forward to seeing your curiosity and what blossoms therein. You fine folk, I don't have you on the agenda. However, which one of you is introducing or all of you?
Who's going first?
Yeah, who's going first?
What's on second? I don't know if I heard.
I guess I'm the one that you're interested in. I recently moved from Tuscarora area from a estate that I had in Dr. Phillips. Where I had a tremendous shop and a tremendous house, and I could do anything mechanical, anything electrical, or anything woodworking. Build or make any about anything I wanted to. Now I have a half of Dodge where I have a little workbench.
Could you help Blackheart get that damn screw out?
So I'm trying to. My daughter ran across this place, and she said maybe this would be something that you feel more at home here because of all the tools that I used to have. And my main reason for leaving is health reasons, of course. But anyway, I am interested in this lab. I'm fascinated by all the things that you have here. And
What your career was,
my daughter says something about the background. My background is electrical engineering and working as a first of all, a design engineer, then a supervisor for Lockheed Martin. Which is what I was in charge of all the ground support equipment for the Apache helicopter.
Oh,
jeez. So,
Andy's a rocket engineer, a rocket scientist
and
rather.
I did a lot of work on design. They were early on with a lot of math and a lot of the work for stabilizing rockets.
Awesome.
Just an interesting sideline. If you do the math, a rocket taking off is unstable. Well, I was working with another engineer friend, and I said, that will never fly. This was back when the first Atlas was in. And he said, yes, it will, because he said, once it takes off, it's tilting and it's going unstable, but it's burning fuel. And as the fuel burns down, it becomes stable before you lose control of it with gimbals. incredible. He figured that out, you know, and he had modeled that on the computer. And this is the kind of work that we were doing at that time. When we went with the rockets and all that.
He can fix anything. I
And
never
over-
had
I
anything
can
new.
break
I can
anything.
testify that I never had anything new growing up because he would fix it. He would even buy broken stuff at garage sales and then fix it. So I didn't know what a repairman was. I didn't know what a new anything was.
I mean,
He made it or he fixed it.
Great.
and I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Oh, it's Tom.
Tom Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, was it John?
Yes.
You mentioned you were trying to think of whether to be a physicist or an electrical engineer.
Or I forgot to say mechanic. Mechanic was the level of right above TaskRabbit.
Speaking from experience of supervising over 50 engineers and scientists, all right, for several years. The best engineers I had were physicists. Physics was the best. That gives you the basic math and the basic fundamentals that you need to do whatever comes along. Now, if you're an electrical engineer and you get a problem that is a stability problem or something like that, you probably won't recognize the solution because you're looking for an electrical problem or a mechanical problem. The physicist is more general and they have a better concept of the overall problems that you're going to run into.
Yeah. I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah.
That adjusts my
I
plan.
run into that.
And once you're out of the atmosphere, you only have to worry about 3 dimensions and no friction. So it simplifies all the math.
You're gonna find out your electrical engineering degree
When you're
is 90%
supervising
physics.
55 Ramadana engineers, you look for somebody to strength.
It never ends.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Tom?
Many. I have many questions, but
Too many for a meeting.
have you taken the tour around the shop yet? What do you think? Smaller than what you're used to? Fewer tools?
A lot of those tools I had in my shop. I mean, not the electron microscope, or anything like that, but the saws, the mills, the metal lathe, wood lathe, I had all that stuff. And, the scope, I got the scope, all full of scope.
The scopes are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got yours, it probably cost you a good $5 or $6 grand.
It was about 20 years ago. I ran into a guy that was selling out his shop. I bought the whole thing.
Was your wife happy about that?
She didn't worry too much about it one day, as long as I kept it in the shop. So anyway, I bought the whole thing, and in there was a 317 Tektronix scope, which is a smaller one. Just a gorgeous little scope, and I've used it ever since. And it's just gorgeous. And it's cool.
We got a few scopes in here.
Yeah, those are smaller than, they're actually better. The thing I love, the electric bill, all tubes are on. But anyway.
Awesome. Is it just you applying? All of y'all applying?
Yeah, I'm just driving.
All right.
This is my husband, Mike. I'm his daughter, Carol, and we came together over here so we could bring it to the meeting. Yeah, hopefully you'll.
I'm trying to figure out I live across town, like say, Tuxville area now. I'm trying to figure out how I can get over here and back because at my age and some health problems that I have now, I really can't drive.
Sucks.
I can drive if somebody's with me. So, kind of limited in what I can do. But I'm thinking maybe Uber or something like that.
Yeah, he's a really good teacher. He really is, very good teacher, so.
Sounds like you have tons of skills.
Pick his brains.
A perennial
Yeah.
overachiever, like most of us.
Yeah.
What we all strive to be.
He is.
Yes.
I've had a lot of people tell me I was a good teacher.
A lot of practical experience, combined with growing up on a farm where you either you made it or you did without,
Well,
so.
yeah, you're talking about being innovative. We're on a farm that we didn't even think about not being able to do that. It's a tractor broke down. We took it or fix it, put it back together. It didn't make it, you didn't have any money. I was somebody.
And you did it without a valve latch tool?
Farmers are some of the most clever and ingenious folks I've seen.
I've adjusted a valve train without a valve lash tool.
Oh, how long did it last?
The engine or the valve train job? It lasted for enough runs.
Okay.
I don't think the valve train was the issue with the engine.
Okay. Now I'm curious.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. I'm gonna start working our way down the meeting. There's no one, you already introduced a while ago, so you're fine. If anyone wants an update on Blackheart's struggle, they got the screw out. And DeFees asked that I show off the awesome guitar he made. Wow. He made this in the wood shop here. I believe this is the right one. He'll tell me if I'm wrong.
Yes, it is. It is the right one. Hi everyone. How's everyone doing?
Hi Nifis. Doing well.
It is really beautiful.
What kind of wood is that?
So the body, the light colored one is maple, and the darker one is a mahogany, and the neck is made out of is maple as well, like curly maple, and yeah, that's how it's a 7-string, as you can see, and it's actually a bigger scale than the usual ones. The usual ones are like 25.5 scales. This one is a 26.5, made specifically for gent metal guitars nowadays. You know, they prefer the bigger scale than guitars.
That looks awesome.
And also, try to get did a nice little laser engraving.
Yep, there you go. And the inlays are laser as well. Like, you know, I had a 1/8 mahogany that I bought, and I lasered that out and carved the inlays like with a Dremel, and then like just played Lego with it. That's all I did.
That is really awesome.
All right, thank you so much, Lily, for showing it to everybody.
Yeah, that's all he did. You know, just create a work of art that also plays music. That's all. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
Art that's just art. That's so meta.
Yeah, I'm planning to start off with another one, like a Telecaster shape 7-string this time as well. Like, you know, it's unusual to have like a 7-string Tele. I mean, I don't think anyone has ever done it, so might as well, you know. There's no harm.
If you wanna custom color some of the hardware, we'll have that powder coating rig set up so you can do custom colors on the hardware.
Oh, can anyone? Is there anyone there like who can help me out with that?
Once we figure it out, yes.
Oh, perfect.
Mike's the guy to talk to about that. He's been working on getting it set up.
All right. Yes. Definitely. I'm very interested in that. Yes, please.
Yeah, join the metalworking channel. That's where I've been posting most of the chatter about powder coating.
Right. What's the channel again? Sorry.
Metalworking.
Okay. I'll do that now. Perfect. All right. Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
Well, awesome. We have had one member finish the process this month. That is Al Hammond. If you haven't met Al, he's awesome. He's usually seen puttering around in the wood shop. I believe he's also making musical instruments.
Yes, he is. He's making cigar box guitars nowadays. Brilliant one.
Yeah, and he's an interesting guy. So, like, if you get a chance, chat him up. He's got a lot of stories to tell.
Multimedia night back.
We can work on it. That does it for the meeting. That brings us to the end of the agenda. Again, I will reiterate, if you ever have any question, comment, concern for the board, of directors, please feel free to reach out to us. Reach out to me, Brian, Blackheart. We have a anonymous reporting form as well. we want to help the membership however we can, but we cannot help if we do not know. And with that, that is the end of the agenda. Thank you everyone for coming out, joining us live or on the internet, and be excellent to one another. Good night. Right at 9.
Good night.
Thanks, guys. Good night.